Jake Paul Joshua.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's going to get what they finally been waiting for.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
The problem child finally reached the end of the road. For years, people questioned what would happen when the flashy YouTube experiment finally crashed into a real heavyweight force. And on December 19th, the answer arrived in brutal fashion. This was not simply a defeat. It was a bone-breaking wake-up call that ended with Jake Paul hospitalized and his jaw wired shut, forcing everyone to confront the harsh reality of elite heavyweight boxing.
What's up, guys? Day after the fight. Got out of surgery a few hours ago. They put a plate in my jaw, wired it up. Hurts to talk, so I'm gonna keep it short. Took the L, respect to the men across.
It is no longer about the hype, the trash talk, or the pay-per-view sales. It has become a harsh lesson in the reality of knockouts. And now UFC President Dana White has finally spoken out, and his response is sending shockwaves across the entire combat sports world.
Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fucking ate it. He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis.
Who do you got?
Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's gonna be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Conor?
Yeah, you're fucking huge. Conor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he says he can beat me.
The sixth round was meant to be the moment Jake Paul proved he truly belonged, but instead it became the point where all the bravado finally collapsed. At the 131 mark, Anthony Joshua landed a right hand that was clean and devastating, and it did not just stop the fight, it shattered Paul's face. After avoiding the inevitable for 5 rounds and surviving 4 earlier knockdowns, Jake finally met a level he could not escape with words or confidence. As he fell against the canvas, the fiery self-belief that defined his rise was replaced by the harsh truth of a double jaw fracture. This was more than a loss because he was physically broken by a fighter who treated the contest like controlled work until he decided the night was over.
Or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron, is fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's going to happen? I'm going to see a time when I'm going to take your soul, and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026, maybe against Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, who knows.
The scenes that followed in the hospital were a nightmare for the Paul camp, as doctors at Miami University Hospital were forced to perform extensive surgery to repair his shattered jaw, eventually placing 2 titanium plates on each side of his face to hold the broken bone together. The injuries were so severe that several teeth had to be removed completely, and Jake has now been placed on a liquid-only diet for the near future. X-ray images shared online show a jaw snapped clean in half serving as a grim reminder of a fight many experts believed should never have been approved. Even through the pain, Jake tried to joke about wanting to fight Canelo in 10 days, but it came across less like toughness and more like a desperate effort to stay in the spotlight.
When Jake Paul lost to Fury, I haven't really paid attention to Jake Paul.
I have love for Jake too. I don't know when a fight's happening. I really
all
don't.
the same. He fights older people that are smaller. It's all the same shit.
Am I not remembering correctly? Didn't Jake ask if you could make a amends between them?
I don't think it's ready for that yet.
Well, it's not that I don't hate Jake Paul. Jake Paul's doing his
UFC CEO Dana White did not try to hide his "I told you so" reaction when the news surfaced. For years, Dana has been the most outspoken critic, calling this crossover boxing trend a clown show, and this result felt like full validation for his stance. He spoke plainly, saying there are clear levels in boxing that no amount of promotion fame or YouTube hype can overcome. White had joked before that many people were only watching to see Jake finally get knocked out, and seeing the influencer turned boxer heading into major surgery only reinforced his belief that the matchup was a terrible idea from the very start. To Dana, this was not a tragedy. It was the expected result of someone stepping into a sport they were never meant to play.
What'd you think of the fight?
Oh, God. I think the gig is up. I'm just tired of Jake Paul as a boxer. I think he's done a fantastic job. He dressed up like Hulk Hogan. I just don't know how many more times Netflix is going to go to bat for him. But I think they will one more time because, you know, the axiom is basically if you draw money, you're going to be getting chance after chance until you're not drawing money. And then you'll still get a couple more chances after that because you did draw money. And that's kind of where he's at right now. You know, he's going to draw with Tyson. He's going to draw on this one. And so he's going to get a couple of more chances, you know, with Netflix. And they'll pay that, you know, good for him. They'll pay that money. But, man, these are, you know, this was just a bad fight. And made boxing look bad. Made boxing look bad in many ways. You know, especially it just was a circus, and the guy, you know, going for takedowns, and the ref's not doing anything. I thought the ref was terrible. Thought Joshua, you know, was not good. Hurt himself, and then he even admitted it. And Jake was just out there not trying to win a boxing match. He was trying to survive and get the moral victory so he can go out there and be, you know, I lasted 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua. And he survived 6 rounds with him.
He survived all right.
But I
he
mean,
never quit. Like somebody I know.
The physical gap between the two fighters on fight night was hard to ignore. Joshua entered the ring weighing a powerful 243 pounds, looking every bit like a former 2-time unified champion, while Paul appeared much smaller at 216 pounds. Analysts have since described the fight as a Tom and Jerry scenario, where Jake spent most of the bout moving away and clinching simply to stay alive. The criticism aimed at the Florida State Athletic Commission is now growing louder, with voices like Gareth A. Davies calling the approval reckless. When an inexperienced fighter is placed in the ring with one of the most dangerous finishers in the world, the outcome is not sport, it is a serious risk.
He appeared to carry Jake Paul for a while, but told me afterwards that he could see that Jake Paul was being evasive. I spoke to him personally, and he decided just to slowly marinade Jake Paul. Obviously hit him with a huge right hand midway through the 6th round to end the bout. Broke Jake Paul's jaw. He ended up in hospital, kind of rearranged his teeth a little as well, but was very clear afterwards to give great praise to the bravery, courage of Jake Paul that everybody saw. I mean, delusionally optimistic he really is. Jake Paul should go and fight YouTubers and influencers now. I don't think this kind of bout should be sanctioned again. But Joshua, of course, now wants to fight Tyson Fury. He's called him out, and I hope we get that fight in 2026 after both of them have had warm-ups. I understand Joshua will have a warm-up fight in Riyadh late in February 2026. It's all done here. It's over. It's a one and done. I hope it doesn't happen again.